Some foods with aflatoxin B are beer, nuts, bread more than a few days old, overripe fruit, and many bulk grains. Surprisingly, very moldy foods like cheese show no signs of aflatoxin B. Maybe removal of aflatoxin is the reason there are documented cases of freedom from cancer after changing to macrobiotic diet. Malignant tumors have both the fluke and isopropyl alcohol present. Before that, the tumor was benign. If you can prevent tumors from forming at all, you would never have to worry about malignant ones.
Embrace these behaviors, characteristics, and traits.
The formation of tumors. A tumor begins as a small overgrowth of tissue. You may notice it simply because it presses against its neighboring organs, giving you strange sensation. When it is examined or scanned, the doctor may call it an adenoma or neoplasm, or just plain mass. Although scientists have worked for 100 years on the causes of such little growths, there is no conclusive explanation yet. But by analyzing this little growth with the synchrometer, its composition can be determined qualitatively. When its composition is compared to that of other masses in other persons, in other organs, common denominators can be found. And if removing these common denominators for patients results in shrinkage of these benign masses, a recipe for curing your tumor disease can be formulated. A brief sketch of how we see tumor disease progress will be given here so you can begin your healing and prevention program. The cause of tumor disease. These are the common denominators of all the masses or growths Hulda have investigated, even including warts. There are only about a dozen, not hundreds upon thousands, as we are told. 1. Tapeworm stages, Ascaris worms, Clostridium bacteria, copper the metal, cobalt the metal, vanadium inorganic, malonic acid and derivatives, fungus species. This is not an unimaginable list compared to the thousands of chemical and the carcinogen lists compiled by anti-cancer institutions. This is simple. Now, what do the tapeworm stages do? We have already stated that they produce malonic acid or somehow cause it to be made by the host, which is us. Malonic acid stalls the Krebs cycle, the major energy producing mechanism going on within our cells. An event that leads to tumor formation. But that is not all. Tapeworm stages also host bacteria. One of the constant companions of tapeworm stages are streptomyces, fungus-like bacteria. There are hundreds of species. They are well known for making streptomycin an antibiotic, but they should not be making such compounds in our tissues on a steady basis. The side effect of streptomycin is stopping protein formation. This is exactly what happens in the tumor. When streptomyces are present, the synchrometer can detect no RNA, which is a nucleic acid that leads to protein building. Healthy cells make RNA constantly. Ozonated oil plus cysteine is the best way to kill tapeworm stages because together they are also effective against streptomyces. Now, what does Ascaris do? The primitive metabolism used by Ascaris and other parasites is called the glyoxylate cycle. Ascaris glyoxylate cycle commandeers our Krebs cycle. The Krebs cycle is what humans use to burn food into energy. Killing Ascaris stops this and helps speed up our metabolism in a single day. Another thing that Ascaris does is to destroy all the vitamin C in the organ with the tumor by oxidizing it, removing hydrogen atom. To be useful, vitamin C must have reducing power. It must be able to pin a hydrogen atom onto other compounds. When Ascaris is killed, vitamin C is immediately present and in proper reduced form. Ascaris harbors Rhizobium leguminosaureum. We have been taught that ribosium is a rather lovable bacteria, busily changing nitrogen gas into nitrates in the nodules along the roots of legume plants. But in our bodies, the nitrate gets reduced to nitrite. Nitrites form nitrosus compound, and these cause mutations. Rhizobium is also capable of making DNA, which is necessary for tumor formation. Fortunately, killing Ascaris with ozonated oil plus cysteine also kills Rhizobium. Another bacteria harbored by Ascaris is Mycobacterium avium intracellulare. Two species are mixed on all the specimen. Although she have not discovered any of its metabolic pathway, it is easy to notice the big improvements in health when it is killed. Night sweats are immediately gone. Ascaris still have more tumor-related activities. To understand them, you have to know about extensive studies done in the 1930s. At that time, the structure of cholesterol was being discovered, and some of its byproducts were suspiciously similar to the coal tar products known to cause cancerous tumors in mice. Hundreds of coal tar products were studied over a 10-year period, and one of the worst was 20-methylcholanthrin. 20-methylcholanthrin is considered one of the most potent carcinogens ever discovered. 1/10 of a milligram, approximately 1/10 of a fly speck, injected into the skin of a mouse only once could produce tumors up to 8 months later, filling the mouse with big round holes that ended its life. Just one dose. To my amazement, the synchrometer detects 20-methylcholanthrin in tumor cells when Ascaris is also present. Holder believe it can be safely concluded that tapeworm stages and Ascaris, together with their associated bacteria, initiate our tumor disease. Later, Clostridium bacteria and various toxins and carcinogens make their deadly contributions.
But just as this is a message being projected on you from the outside, the solution to the emptiness within you cannot come from the outside and be expected to last.
What does kappa do? There is no tumor, benign or malignant, that does not have inorganic toxic kappa, which is detected with the synchrometer. On blood test, it is easily seen that non-food kappa depresses the serum iron level. Ultimately, kappa is lethal because without sufficient iron in a properly reduced state kept that way by vitamin C, our detoxification system fails. Red blood cell formation fails. Energy metabolism fails. We fail. Metallic kappa comes into our bodies with water that has run through kappa pipes from metal tooth fillings and from plastic tooth fillings polluted with kappa. Kappa has a great affinity for sulfur and uses up our chief sulfur compounds: glutathione, cysteine, taurine, and methionine. And eventually, the sulfur that must stay combined with iron in our most vital organ is used up. Fortunately, it is easy to eliminate toxic kappa from our bodies by removing it from your water pipes and your mouth. Copper accumulation in cancer patients have been noted for a long time, but it was thought to be due to the cancer itself. All the findings show the reverse, that copper accumulation causes tumor growth. And in fact, the accumulation, far from being due to the cancer patient's genetic tendency, can be easily stopped just by changing the water pipes and getting copper-containing tooth filling removed. Copper levels fall at once, letting iron levels come up in less than a week. Immediately blood building can resume. And as copper levels continue to go down, the invasive fungus growth also decline. What does fungus do? Quite a few fungi and their toxic products called mycotoxins have been studied in connection with cancer. The synchrometer routinely detects aflatoxin and patulin, which are mycotoxins at the tumor site. Aflatoxin causes liver tumor. All cases of jaundice, all that I've seen in liver cancer patients, are due to aflatoxin. The only remedy she knew of is to stop eating all grains and nuts in any form. Other food, especially fermented foods, could be contaminated with it too, because the mycotoxin is not alive and is not damaged by cooking. Patulin also has a history of scientific research and use as antibiotic. Although routinely detected at a tumor site, but its preferred organ is the parathyroid. It plays a detrimental role in the body's defense against tumor. Every person older have tested who is without tumors has tumor necrosis factor, TNF, in the parathyroids, but nowhere else. Every person with a tumor does not have TNF in the parathyroid glands. But the reason is clear. Patulin is in the parathyroid, somehow preventing TNF from being made. As soon as patulin disappeared, and this could happen as soon as 1 day after killing the fungus and stopping eating it, TNF reappears in the parathyroids, ready to go to work. No sooner is it back in the parathyroids, but it shows up at the tumor sites too, doing its best to shrink the tumors there. If you should eat or grow aspergillus fungi again, the kind that make patulin, TNF immediately disappear. It is rather a fragile system. Our habit of eating rotten fruit not right off the tree and letting fungus germinate in the intestine, which is constipation, keeps us inundated with patulin. The bruised parts of apples may have as much as 1 ppm patulin. Stopping eating bruised fruits and clearing the bowl of fungus with black walnut oil tincture extra strength 2 teaspoon dose is effective. Immediately eliminates patulin in the parathyroids. Now the tumors can shrink, but the forces favoring growth may still be stronger. What else is making them grow? Cobalt, vanadium, malonic acid, several bacterial varieties, and assorted carcinogens. What does cobalt do? Very little is known about cobalt toxicity. It was even given as medication in the past for anemia, but the treatment was worse than the disease. Inorganic cobalt blocked oxygen utilization so that the body was fooled into believing it was
having to change or fix them marks the shift into an expansive awareness. Through surrendering into the moment,